The podcast you are about to listen to contains at least one of the following: strong language, disturbing topics, abusive opinions, generally things that aren't appropriate for little kids or overly sensitive people. So, if any of that stuff's going to get your nose out of joint, this is your chance to turn it off.
Feelings don't matter, so brace yourself tight. He'll lay it down heavy, he'll light up the night. No sugar-coated tales, just cold hard facts. In the realm of opinions, there's no turning back. Listen closer, just walk away. But Aaron had to say it, come what may. Here comes Aaron with the truth untold. No holding back, watch the truth unfold. On the podcast, airways feel the righteous sting. You either take it in or let the silence ring.
Today I have a social media personality, the Dadbod veteran, fellow Gen X member, talks about things, the old days. And so feel free to introduce yourself, tell my listeners where they could find you if I haven't already done that in a previous episode, maybe plugging this potentially upcoming interview.
I mean, I'm the Dadbod veteran. Real name is John Wellington. You can find me at the dadbodveteran.com. That's a link to my link tree. And you can find all the places and merch and all that stuff right there. Go search it up and come give me a follow and give me a shout and say hi.
All right, cool. Well, see, there we go. That goes. And you okay if I say John in the conversation? Just
Yeah.
But I'm assuming.
Call me Dadbod. Don't call me late for dinner though.
That fair point. Yeah, I mean, and this kind of goes back into one of those, like, again, Gen X. It's like I figure that's more normal for us, but I've also gotten into weird habits of checking things and permissions with people when I talk to them because
There's a kinder, gentler world out there that we have to be sensitive to.
Well, I may not be real good at the sensitive part, but
we are who we are.
Yeah, I try to at least be accommodating within reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So, John, initial question I ask everybody that I talk to these days. So, what exactly got you into doing like social media stuff and the approach to the persona of talking about the before times? And
it's all my kids. It's their fault. They didn't do it on purpose. So here's a backstory, because everybody's got a backstory. Some of them are good, some of them aren't. I have 5 kids, and they're all now grown and gone, out on their own. So I've been a dad since I was 18. And my last kid was going to join the Navy, and he was all signed up and ready to go. And he graduated high school, and the plan was he was going to leave in August. The Navy called him and said, "Hey, if you leave early, we'll give you, X amount of dollars." Now, we had originally planned to spend the whole summer together, get our last summer, thing going on, and hang out, because we're kind of like friends. We're more like friends than father son. And when they made him that offer, I was like, okay, cool. That's cool. You got to make a decision. It's a big boy thing. He took the offer because it was a significant amount of money that they were offering him. And this was on a Monday. They said, okay, we don't know when you're going to leave, but it could be next week. It could be this week. It could be whatever. It ended up being that Wednesday. So literally he got the offer on Monday. He left on Wednesday. I was kind of in a depression state, if you will, a little bit empty nester. Like I said, been a dad since I was 18. Didn't know a life without kids in the house. And all of a sudden here I am faced with, what the hell do I do with the rest of my life now that I don't have kids? So I started thinking and trying to twist my mind to a more positive frame of mind, and started thinking about grandkids. And because that's the next natural evolution for somebody who's been a parent their whole life, is to think about having another set of kids in the house. And so I started making these videos as kind of if you've been following me for a long time, what the old videos used to look like, and it was just me kind of on the porch telling stories instead of doing these reactions, and creating this library of stories of how the world was when we grew up, in kind of a funny, sarcastic kind of way, with some good undertones in there, but always in a comedic value perspective. And the voice that I created was the voice of who I would want to hear stories from if I was a little kid. And that's basically the origin of the voice and the origin of the storytelling. Now, eventually what happened is someone sent me a video after I had got a little bit of popularity. I think it was maybe like 50,000 on TikTok. And they said, "Hey, what does the dad bod think about this kid?" And it was the pizza before GPS video where the kid said, "How did they deliver pizzas before GPS?" And I did a reaction to it, which I'd never done before. And that thing went bonkers. It's like 3 million in like 3 days. And for somebody with 50,000 followers, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's
Um,
very impressive, actually.
the follower number skyrocketed. And then I got more requests. People were asking me, "What do you think about this? What do you think about that?" And it created this whole persona of me reacting to the world, either from a, here's how we used to do it way, or here's how I think you guys are screwed up way, or here's my perspective on that particular thing. And always trying to be, I call it the Disney approach. Like there are undertones in every Disney movie that are meant for the parents, and the parents get the jokes,
Out.
right? And the kids have no idea what's going on, but they still watch the movie, right? So it's kind of the Disney approach to how I deliver these things to make sure that I can get as much of a broad audience as possible watching, with most of the people being people of our age watching and understanding the whole reaction to it. And yeah, so it was never actually intended to turn into anything, and here we are 3 years later, uh, 5.5+ million followers across all platforms, singing the tune every day and having a blast doing it. Nothing I ever expected to do.
But and that's cool. That's actually really I like hearing it when people say, "Oh yeah, I didn't plan this," because I mean, I've never talked to anybody that's like, "Yeah, no, I had the exact formula to go out here and be a social
Yeah,
media impact in I hate the term influencer.
I
Maybe
hate it too. I'm a creator. I create content.
I was gonna say it's content creators are the people I like. The people that think they're influencing things are generally pompous twats, and I don't care for them
Yeah,
very
and
much.
influence is a secondary possibility to being a creator, right? You
Yeah,
can have influence, or you could just be a knucklehead and have zero influence. But it's not a mandate just because
yeah,
you get bigger on social media.
yeah. That's the thing too. I actually prefer the people like your content where you're not trying to preach and push a certain agenda. It's more just about like you said, it's creative. It's bringing something to the table that showing things from your perspective, showing things. And like I said, I liked the stories of the before times and all these other things, and because and this is kind of where I was, how I wound up. I don't know. I feel like I have a semi-typical approach to like social media and everything else for people of our certain age, where the only thing was like I had a Facebook account when you still had to have an edu email address to have a Facebook account.
Yeah, way
Because
back in the day
oh yeah, way back in the day.
when
And
MySpace was bigger.
yeah, MySpace was the bigger thing, but I'm professionally I'm a chef, right?
Oh,
I at the
a
time.
job I could never do and not be 500 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, well, funny story that I actually was 500 pounds at one point, uh,
See?
entirely unrelated to the food service side of things. So, but that's a whole nother story. But I was working at a college at the time, and I had taken a promotion and a transfer to a different school, and a bunch of the students that were at the college I was working at, where I was just like one of the service cooks. I had a good rapport with most of them because at the time I was middle late 20s, like 27. So a bunch of the upper grads, like graduate students and all these other kids, they got along better with me. I had a few of them that were constantly trying to get me to go out drinking with them and stuff like that, and I'm just like, no, that's inappropriate. There's a line, and I don't cross that one. I got asked, not that I'm trying to brag, but like I got asked to prom one year, and I was like,
Yes.
I really don't think my wife would appreciate that, but thank you, I'm flattered. And at this point, I'd been married for all like 2 years, so I'm like, yeah, no, nope, thank you, nice college
Yeah.
girl, but no, I'm not going to prom with you. I'm sorry, or homecoming, whichever. It was one of those, but yeah. So my little student crew or club or whatever, my boss actually had a thing. He referred to them as Aaron's people, and I was just like, yeah, Aaron's people are all complaining that we didn't keep you, and I'm like, did you tell them I got a promotion? They just care that you're leaving, and they came to me like, hey, you've got an edu email address because you work at the college, right? So you sign up for this thing called Facebook,
Facebook.
and we can keep in touch on that. And I was like, great. I'm moving 140 miles away, and you guys are still going to expect me to abuse you over the internet now? That's how this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be mean to you online. And they're like, yeah, but it's hilarious. I'm like, okay, so that's fine. And so, but beyond that, I never really looked at social media with any kind of seriousness. I never looked at it as like I wasn't looking for a platform. I wasn't looking for, a voice or even really entertainment. I'm going to sit down and read a book and maybe play some video games. And, and that was more my speed when I wasn't either at work or doing a lot of the other stuff that goes along with being a chef outside of work, like drinking way too much or doing really stupid things. But honestly, by that point, I was also a parent, so all of that stuff got put in the back seat really fast. Like
Mhm.
after like 23, I was like, nope, time to be a responsible grown up now, and that's and that became,
That was me too.
that was
Responsible
it.
grown up at 18.
Yeah, so I dealt with that, and then but like I said, I just never really got involved in social media beyond the cursory. Like, even though I have an old Facebook account and I'm considered a legacy Facebook person, which I did not know was a thing until Facebook sent me a message about it. But um, yeah, I just never took it seriously. And then, like a lot of the world, COVID happened, and
And then everybody took it seriously.
everybody took it seriously. So it was, for me, it was a lot of fun to see like your content and a couple other creators where I was like, these are people I can actually like identify with, I can understand, I can appreciate, and we're not so old that technology is befuddling us and confusing us. So that made me feel good about myself too, because I was seeing way too many, like, I set up a TikTok in 2020 ish because right around the same time I actually started this show, because I was like, okay, if I'm going to try and make a go of this podcast thing, just like every other person that got laid off and had nothing else to do and decided this is how I'm going to communicate with the world, because that's my origin story. I got furloughed from my job for 9 months, and I was driving my wife crazy because I didn't have anybody to talk to, and she was like, here's a microphone, you used to talk about doing a podcast, go talk to random strangers.
Go find somebody to talk to.
Find somebody who wants to hear your shit, because I've heard all of these stories 90 times. You're boring, and we're in the house together 24/7. Here, shoot. So I was like, okay, hon, thanks. So that's when I set up my TikTok account and like an Instagram account and all these other things to try and like, okay, if I want to be serious about this, I'm gonna have to do the thing. And
Do the thing all the time.
immediately looked at the thing and just went, this is not for me. um, and that's the other thing is like with actual creators who are good at what they do and people I enjoy and I have followed over the last 3 to 5 years. It's like I'm also really like kind of snobby where I'm like, okay, no, you know what, you suck now.
You're gone.
You had two funny reels. I'm done with you. And so I will parse people quickly. So I mean, not to be like I'm so great, my taste is better than the average guys. I'm very discerning when it comes to my Instagram content or my TikTok content. Um, the problem was I didn't stop to think about when you're setting up these accounts. If you're doing it from like a creative side, like I'm doing it to have another potential, market for the podcast. I've made like 3 TikToks, maybe 3 reels. I'm absolutely horrific when it comes to that side of things, because I realized I'm good at talking, I'm good at interacting with people. Sitting down and making short form content that people find entertaining for me is like I respect people that can do it, because for me it's arduous at best.
It didn't start out clean. So if you're wondering how the process starts, it's not like what I make today has that's how it's always been. I mean, you saw the old stuff.
Yeah.
It is definitely a learning curve to get comfortable behind your own camera, and get the process down on how to do it, how to speak, because the way that if for anybody that's watching this, if you go watch my really old stuff and you go watch my stuff today, it's a completely different cadence to how I speak. It's a completely different rhythm. It's much more free flowing now, and more literal, and more better delivery and better setup and better camera angles and better cameras. And I mean, all that. There's such an art to a 1 minute video that anybody who can just jump into it and be perfect on day one of making a video, they're an anomaly, and they deserve all the credit they get for when they go viral. But the rest of us, we actually have to work at it, and we make 3 to 5 videos a day for 2 years before we figure it out. There's no days off. I mean,
Yes.
it's that kind of stuff.
I like I said, I respect the hell out of it because, um, and that's the other thing too is when I actually went back to work, I was kind of like, okay, this can definitely get back burnered now because I still have parenting to do. I'm back to work now. I don't have 18 hours a day to play around with trying to figure out how to do this stuff. Because
Yeah.
initially with this show, I was some weeks I was putting out 5 podcast episodes in a week
Oof.
just because it was just like the world's insane. I have a lot of things I need to get off my chest. Now, bear in mind, they weren't good episodes. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, if you really want to, like, I'll get a new listener. Hey, I'm going to go listen to the back catalog. Don't do that. No, no, you
Well,
don't.
you know what? That's where you started from. So there's no reason that you can't.
Well, I mean, it's all still up. I'm not going to
Yeah,
lie.
yeah.
I'm not trying
It's
to, but just,
and the other part is you don't know what somebody else thinks is crap, right? I get it all the time with my content, right? I'll put something up, I think it's a zinger, and it's absolutely flat, and then
yeah,
I'll just take a dump in front of my camera, and they think it's the best thing since sliced bread, and I'm like, well, why that one? Why that one?
that's actually one of my ongoing complaints. I have there's an X Spaces I hop on most mornings that another podcaster I've met over the years hosts, and he's one of my constant listeners. He's literally the only person that ever bought anything off my Amazon wish list because I made an Amazon wish list basically as a goof. Like I was not like a lot of what I did uh, when I set up this podcast was, if not a direct mockery of a lot of the social media culture, because a lot of my stuff is like social commentary kind of things, just like what is wrong with people? Why are you being such shitheads? It was a lot cooler 25 years ago.
Sounds like my content.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of same vein, I think. But one of the things I took umbrage with, be as a sanctimonious schmuck who's like, I have a podcast with tens of listeners, and I should be cherished and lauded and all this other fabulous stuff. And I was like, I noticed how everybody and their mother was setting up, hey, if you like this, go to, here's my link tree. You can go buy me something off my Amazon wish list, and doubling down on, like, the different adult themes and the OnlyFans girls and all the other people, like, here's my links. So me being a smartass, I proceed to throw up an Amazon wish list that has like a $3,000 massage chair. You know, um, there's a different
Small
production
kit
equipment.
house.
Yeah, like, a much nicer microphone than what I have for like $700. I had a Rodecaster on there that at the time was,
Oh my
400.
god, that's the best thing ever.
Yeah, and then I got a Rodecaster, and so I felt kind of bad taking that down because I'm like, well, what do I put up in place of the Rodecaster? And then I was like, hydro massage chair instead of the regular massage chair.
Ooh.
Ooh. But then I threw a few things on there where I was just like, okay, these are if somebody actually wanted to do something nice for me, and it's things are like under $20, and I had, like, like a big American flag and some long XLR cables so I can go from here to over to that corner where I want to set up my other idea that I had when I was like, I need to start taking like shorts more seriously. And I have a electric fireplace insert because in our like rec room in the basement we have an electric fireplace, and it stopped working, and so I bought a new one, and then I found out it was just a blown fuse in the back of the thing
Oh, God.
because I did the logical thing and bought a whole new insert.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a flat tire. Get a new car.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, because I read through the owner's manual, it didn't say anything about, hey, there, by the way, there's a fuse in this thing that you can replace.
Yeah.
Nothing in the whole manual about it because the manual was written in very clear English, and it was pictures and like 3 words, and they were grammatically incorrect. So I was just like, yeah, this is how much did you pay for this thing, babe? Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah. No
Yeah,
wonder.
that's imported.
So, yeah. So I took the insert out, and when I was getting ready to chuck it, I saw this screw on the back of the thing, and I went, "What is that? That wasn't in the instructions." And I unscrewed it, and sure enough, there's a blown fuse. So I have a spare fireplace insert now, and I was like, I'm gonna put that in the back corner just as a goof, and I'm gonna get a big wingback chair, and I'm gonna do fireside chats. So I need to be able to run a microphone over there. I don't have to move.
Dude, I want to do that. I've actually thought about that, is to do fireside storytelling, to
Yeah,
just like sit there and read a book in the voice, or something like,
exactly.
or write a book and then read the book.
Well, there you go. I mean, Nothing wrong with having aspirations. Writing a book could be good.
Yeah, yeah. It's just I
I'll
have
buy it.
ADD. I
So
can't stay focused long enough to actually do it. That's why I'm stuck on 1 minute videos, is because that's
I
about as long as you get me.
yeah, the focus she don't always hold. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna need some like 25-foot long XLR cables, and so my buddy Bruce bought me my 25-foot long XLR cables and
Nice.
my American flag, and I was like, okay, well there goes the cheap shit I put on there. If somebody actually wanted to buy me something, now I got to put other cheap shit on my Amazon wish list. So I went out and just started finding the dumbest crap I could find for like under $10. So now it's like $1,000 gift items and then like a bag of 200 fidget spinners for 7.99.
The mini hands that you put on your fingers.
Yeah, the mini hands are actually or wait, no, I think they're in the bag of. I remember seeing those somewhere. The one that I actually thought was really entertaining is they're launchable rubber chickens. They're these little tiny rubber chickens. They're about that big, and you can hook them on your finger and you stretch them and you shoot them.
Nice.
I'm like, do I need those? No. Do they serve
Doesn't
any
matter.
practical purpose? No. Do I want them? Yes, I do.
Yes.
And if
Because I have
somebody
adult
else
money.
buys them for me, then my wife
It's
will
even better.
enjoy
Yeah.
them.
If you can get somebody else to fund your stupidity,
Oh yeah,
go for it.
that's how I get away with most of my stupidity is somebody else funding it. So I love my wife dearly, but she's very good about going. Really, that's what you want to spend your money on?
That's why I have social media. It really does fund my horrible purchases. And
Yeah,
it stays out of our, joint account. So it's just me.
that's yeah. I have my little podcast money, and usually it winds up going to something else for the show that I decide I need. But occasionally it's just like I've got random crap over there. That's yeah. Where did that come from? Well, I
Why do
spent
I need 6 Nikon cameras? I don't know, because I want them.
cool. Yeah, I mean, I've got my little other camera here that I'm not using because it keeps. I, I'm not really good at setting up all the video stuff yet because the first 4 years of this thing, it was like nobody wants to look at this. Why am I going to put no? I
Oh, it's night and day. Once you figure it out, I mean, YouTube everything, but once you figure it out and you get a nice camera running, because that's what I'm running on right now, it makes a whole world of difference. God, it makes a world of difference.
and honestly, when I do the interviews and stuff too, I've been okay with just the webcam here that I have. Because technically it's an HD one, so I was like, it's not the cheap like $15 one that you could get on Amazon. It's a decent, it's like $100, but it's not like a really cool like serious video camera.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, like I said, for the last 5 years, I've been doing primarily audio only because again, who wants to look at this? Plus, up until recently, this was not actually my office. This was our guest room. So everything I did had a queen size sleigh bed in the background, and I'm just like that's not entertaining. That looks like this is.
I mean, you could have a lot of fun with that. You
Oh,
could do a lot of cool stuff, like how Justin Nunley has the bodies that are all
yeah,
wrapped up. You throw a couple bodies on there.
that would be hilarious too. Justin's another one. I found him a couple of years ago, and I like the guy's content, and it makes me giggle. But
One
yeah,
day I'm actually going to meet him.
yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just like, everybody's if I do a live stream with that bed in the background, everybody's gonna think they found the world's worst OnlyFans page, and it's like, send me $5 and I'll turn the camera off. How's that sound? And it's so now that I'm actually starting to like get a little more serious about that, those are the things I've been looking into. Like, yes, I've got some nice cameras lined up, and my wife is actually next semester taking a photography class. She
Oh,
went back. That was her COVID thing. She went back to school um,
nice.
because well she basically she a lot of roundabout here. So when she was originally a CNA years ago, got pregnant, raised a kid, decided to go back to when he got done with high school, and we were like, okay, you're all big enough now, we don't have to really mind you anymore. She decided she was going to go back to school, went back to school to get her RN degree. 2 weeks before she was supposed to start her clinicals, slipped on some black ice, tore her meniscus and two tendons,
Oh,
had to go in for
oh,
two different knee surgeries, couldn't do her clinicals because she couldn't stand.
oh.
Then on the follow-up appointment, they said, yeah, basically you've got degenerative arthritis in this kneecap now too, so it's just going to get worse. And So she was like, "So when can I do my clinicals?" And the doctor was just like, "You might want to think about changing majors." And
Oh,
so she went from that to and she's, "Well, what am I going to do? I got all these classes." I said, "Well, what's going to make you happy?"
yeah,
I make a decent living. We can manage. Go to school that's going to don't worry about making the best money you can.
yeah.
Alex is grown. We're both getting old. Do something that's going to
That's
make you
right. That's
because
right. Do what you
you're not,
want to do.
you're not at the point where you got to lean into providing the best care you can for your son anymore.
Yeah.
What's going to make you happy? Well, I like art. Okay, well, so what do you want to do with that? And she did some research and says, well, I'm going to go into graphic design now. Pretty big divergence from nursing. But
Yeah.
all right, rock and roll. You do you. And so she's been taking the classes. The only problem was since she had so many credits from her nursing degree that she had almost finished, they let her transfer that so she doesn't have to take any gen ed classes.
Yeah.
The degree specific classes, there's been a couple of semesters where she can only get like one class in because they only offer it once a year.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I'm taking this class this month, and since I don't have anything, I don't need any more prerequisites and blah blah blah. I'm just going to take the one class. I'm like, great, rock and roll, do you?
Yeah.
So she's taking a digital photography class next semester, which I'm excited because she needs to buy a digital camera for that class. And I'm like, oh, hey, babe,
Yeah.
now we need to start talking. Here's this Nikon that would be really great for your class. You'll take some amazing pictures with this. This says it's good for streaming too. Oh, I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the fact that it's a mirrorless streaming camera.
Yeah, no, that's just all coincidence. And
Yeah.
funny thing is, we've been married, 20 years. She looks at me and just goes, "Yeah, you're right. This is going to be a good camera for my class." And I'm like, "And see, and I pay for that. I can write it off. How's that sound?" There.
That's why I have all this stupid stuff.
Yeah,
It's
that's
because I've been fortunate and I still have a regular job. And so I'm old and I don't have kids anymore and I don't have grandkids yet. So I'm kind of in this funny space of being dinks. I'm gonna start the dink mafia, dual income, no kids, dink mafia. I think it's got a catch to it. But yeah, and so everything that I make off social media is just beer money to me. And it's been a blast. I don't want it to change.
good. That's the important part as far as I can tell is as long as you're having fun with it because I
Oh
always
yeah.
and when this becomes a task, I'm walking away. I
But you know what? I don't know if it's ever going to become a task because it's like even with the comedy tour that we got going on right now, that's a lot of work. That is a lot of work, whole different industry I never even knew anything about. But it's mine. It's ours. You know what I mean? It's a whole different thing than, going in and clocking in for somebody for 8 hours, 10 hours a day, doing whatever the hell they want you to do versus something that you create, something that you manage, something that you run, and you get to see the fruits of.
that's your thing, and
Yeah, it's the thing.
yeah,
Yeah, we've
that's probably why I'm still doing it. Well, I mean, obviously not at the same scale because nobody's coming to see me yet, but
give it time. Give
I,
it
I
time.
I have ambition.
On the
Um,
road podcast. That's a thing now.
yeah, it really is, and ironically enough, that's actually one of the other things on my wish list is one of those little mobile recording. Uh, God, I even forgot the brand of it now at this point, but it's a little mobile recording studio. It's like a third of the size of a Rodecaster. It has two inputs, so I can do.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw those. Road has one.
Yeah, that's
Little baby girl.
I can't think of the name of it though. It's gonna drive me crazy. But yeah, the little guy, the Road Duo. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
Road Duo. Yeah.
Um, and it's like, yeah, I'd love to get one of those because then I could do this when I'm out and about. And the thing is, like, occasionally for my job, I do. There's always the potential I might have to go out and. I mean, it keeps kind of getting pushed back and forth because now I'm still a chef, but I work as a corporate position. I'm an
Ooh.
R&D chef. Um,
R&D chef.
so I do product testing and menu
Oh,
development.
okay, because I thought it was like all these crazy recipes that people are making on TikTok that I get to have fun with.
Oh yeah, no, that kind of stuff too, but no, it's much more clinical and boring for my day-to-day work. I mean, I love my job, but I think the average person would look at that and go, This is what you do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's great." I mean, it's not for everybody, obviously, but I work in the company I work for now. We do like menu support and nutritional backup and purchasing agreements and stuff like that for like medical facilities. So
Ah, okay.
short-term rehab facilities, long-term rehab facilities, nursing care, extended care, stuff like that. So I have this whole team of dietitians that I get to come out here and create stuff for, and then they have to go and sit down and go through with a fine-tooth comb and make sure it meets all the nutritional needs. And you know,
Yeah.
is it going to pass this level, this standard, that standard? It's like, which has actually broadened my knowledge base a lot because now I know how to write stuff so I don't have to go back and redo my work to accommodate them. But then the other side of that is, like I said, we do like a lot of product testing too, where it's like we'll have companies like, we would like you to refer your customers to buy our product. We'll give you this kind of purchasing deal. And then they go, okay, Aaron, make sure this is going to pass all the standards for, people that have dysphagia, people that can't swallow, people that are on liquid diets, blah, 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 blah. So I'll spend an entire day like pureeing chicken breasts and deliberately trying to ruin them. So, and that's the part of my job where I think people would look at it and just go, why do you like this? And I'm like, I have to find new and creative ways to screw up this product.
Yeah.
So when I get a phone call from one of our clients going, hey, I don't know why, but all these chickens are coming out like rubber tires. I can go, okay, here's what's probably going on. Let's troubleshoot this. And then on the backside of that coin, I sometimes get clients that are like, we have this problem, we have that problem. We need some help. And then it's like, okay, well, we can send you our chef. There's a fee for that. And he'll come in and audit your facility and then say, okay, well, here's some changes you need to make. Here's equipment and it's kind of funny because like at this point, it's like, okay, our acknowledged expert has come in and said a lot of things that the owners don't want to hear.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's the fun part because it's like I'll get the dietary manager or whatever, XYZ facility where they're like, look, this piece of equipment's a piece of junk. That this is why we're having problems with that. This is a problem. And they'll be like, but the owners won't listen to us when we say this needs to be fixed because that means they got to spend money.
Need that third party to come in.
Yeah. So then I come in and I go, yeah, that thing's a piece of crap. And I'm like, here, let me write up my official assessment where I put this is a piece of crap into corporate speak. This particular piece of equipment will be failing repeatedly, causing further issues that may be an issue when state is in the building to audit because you will not be adequately or properly preparing the food and yada, yada, yada. And then I hand that to them and I go, okay, that'll be $10,000, please. And not that I get that money. That's what goes to the company, but
yeah.
So yeah, then they're like, okay, so we just spent all this money for you to come tell us we have to buy a bunch of new equipment. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it works. You should have listened to your DM when they said the equipment was junk. Or, occasionally I'll come in and the other thing is I'll have to, again, this is just, it goes with the job. Sometimes I got to come in and be the hatchet man, which is not nearly as much fun. That's not the part of my job I enjoy. But yeah. I've been a chef for like 30 years. I understand the concept where it's like, sometimes you got to be that guy. And if you're from outside the company, it's a little easier in a lot of ways because it's like, I don't know you that well. I haven't built a rapport with you over the years. I can see you're the problem child here as an external source. And guess what? You're getting fired and you can't blame your boss. You got to have to blame the guy from outside the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that one's not as much fun, but that is, like I said, sometimes it's, okay, I got to go out on the road and be at this account for 3 or 4 days. And, then it's like, hopefully that doesn't fall on recording night because how am I going to do that if I'm sitting in a hotel room somewhere? And do I really want to haul all this crap with me? And, do I want to check a microphone with the TSA? No, I don't, It's like I put a headset in my laptop, but that sounds like crap. So
yeah.
But sorry, I forgot where I was going with that whole line of thought here.
Good backstory.
Yeah, it's backstory, but that's why I was talking about the camera. Somehow that all wound up leading to go, yeah, me being on the road because I want to buy a Rodecaster Duo. That's the other thing. I tend to, it's very stream of consciousness. Like I have some notes here and it's like, here, ask him about these things in case you get sidetracked. As you can see, I've glanced down literally once like, oh yeah, wait, I have notes. And that's the other thing. A lot of my show, like the guest episodes are always really well received. Like I said, with the exception of the one that I refused to publish because the guy was a douche. It's, my audience is always like, hey, that was great. So-and-so was great. Hey, I found a new show. I found a new person I want to follow. I found a new thing that I'm interested in now. I had this guy told me some things I didn't think because I'm very eclectic in terms of like I'll talk to pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, refer to the notes. But most of my shows are solo episodes. It's an entirely different format of notes because I have to, instead of getting caught up like telling stories and babbling and talking about whatever happens to come up in the course of conversation, it's my bullet points of this is what Aaron's going to rant about this week. How
Yeah.
long can I go between breaths? Which is kind of an ongoing shtick with a bunch of my more active listener bases. They'll be like, I don't know how this guy does this because I don't think he actually breathes. And I've never heard anybody go on a 45-minute rant. Well, yes, you have once you start listening to the show. And it's not always, necessarily a specific thing of just because I try not to be negative all the time because who the hell wants to do that? It's soul sucking in a lot of ways. Constantly being negative means you're constantly seeing the negative, and I don't need that shit. But it's also a lot better content because being all, hey, sunshine and rainbows, that's okay, but it's not what people expect. And I'll get DMs like, bro, you okay? Is everything all right? You seemed really happy. Something wrong? Yeah, something's wrong. But so I do have a note on here in terms of, and this is partly my curiosity too. But like other people you've wound up doing like collaborations with and stuff, and this actually does kind of go to the tour that I had seen was going on before. Is this current tour like a reiteration of the same thing, or is this?
No, I mean the tour is all it's going to be a year old this weekend.
Yeah.
It was another accident. We never intended to go on tour. We were going to go to Nashville and hang out and do creator stuff. We were gonna make content and we're gonna watch rom-coms and eat pizza and paint our toenails and do all that kind of stuff. Sherry reached out to me. She said, "Hey, you want to go hang out in Nashville?" I was like, "Sure." And never met Kelly or Nick before. So we all planned this soiree last Labor Day up in Nashville and got an Airbnb. And then our wives got involved and they're like, look, if we're going to go up there, let's get this trip paid for. We're going to pimp you guys out to a comedy club. Now, mind you, I and Kelly and Sherry had never done stand up comedy in our lives. Nick has, and it's always been his dream to be a stand up comedian. But we have never done it before. So going on stage in Nashville was a first for all of us. Um, we go to Third Coast Comedy Club down there in Nashville. We get booking for one show, so we advertise that show. It's only 88 seater, so we advertise that show and it sells out in an hour. And we're like, oh. So then we advertise a second show and it sells out in 3 hours. Oh, and then we're like, well, let's do an after party. So we do an after party at this place called Pins Mechanical, and they have capacity for 700 people. Well, it sells out as well. So on top of the fact that we had, the 200 people for the show, we had 700 people for the after party. Some of them the same people, and we basically rent out this place, which is like a adult arcade. They've got arcade games. They've got pinball and bowling and stuff like that. It's meant for adults, and we have an absolute blast. So the show was nerve wracking. It was stressful, but it went over well. So we decided to do it again. So we said, let's go to Cleveland and see what happens. So we book out a dueling piano bar in Cleveland for 250 people, and we sell that one out. And they're like, oh crap, this might actually be a thing. Then we go to Atlanta. We book two shows for 350 people a piece, and we sell both of those out. We're like, okay, now this is an actual thing. And then from there we go into New Orleans. We go to Las Vegas. After Vegas, we played the Palms at Las Vegas. Our fifth show was at the Palms. That's ludicrous in my brain. It doesn't make sense in my brain considering that people will stay in the comedy club scene for 10 years before they get any type of a breakout, if they get a breakout at all. And we're already playing the Palms, right? So we leave the Palms and we go to St. Louis, which was our first really big show. 2,200 people at the factory in St. Louis, and we sold it out. And it was a rock star show. I mean, it was like on a whole nother level of silly show. And at this point, we've got bookings throughout the rest of the year. We just got done with Atlantic City and Boston, or excuse me, Atlantic City, Cincinnati, and then last weekend was Boston. And in 2 weeks, we're going to be in Washington, D.C. 2 weeks after that, we're in Seattle. 2 weeks after that, we're down here in Charleston, South Carolina, my hometown. Then
Just
we fly down to
keep it local.
Cancun. Yeah, yeah. Then we fly down to Cancun for a week to a Gen X all inclusive that's happening down there at the Sands, which is really cool because we are going to be the hosts for people like 38 Special and Tesla and Milli Vanilli and Salt and Peppa. And, John Cusack is going to be there and Downtown Julie Brown's going to be there. And all these people that you're like, why am I in the same room with all of these people?
That's actually really, really cool, though.
It's so dumb. This is so dumb. This is the weirdest thing and the wildest thing and the coolest thing that I've ever been a part of in my life. And it's not stopping there. That's the thing, right? The tour then goes on a cruise, basically the day we get back, which we've had scheduled for a while. But we've already got 15, 16 shows booked out for 2026. So
That's
that we're not going to announce just yet, but we've got basically a cross country spread of at least 16 shows. And we've got more in the wings that we're trying to get booked right now to really cover all of the ground across the entire country and maybe even the UK.
now see that's I mean that's awesome. I gotta say I'm like I'm tickled to hear that. That makes me happy because seeing people that I'm one of those people like, yeah, I don't know you guys, but I'm like, I'm happy to see that kind of stuff happening because it's like, I'm one of those people where it's like, I like the stuff this person does. I want to see them succeed. I've never been real good at being like, I can't look at a situation and be like, you know what? That person's pretty cool, but I'm indifferent to their situation. I mean, I'm not going to sit around and like base my life on what's going on in anybody who I don't have to, interact with directly on a regular basis because I'm a pragmatist at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it always it brings a smile to my face to hear that people whose things I enjoy are having a successful run at it or having it work out well for them because that makes me happy on some weird level where I'm like, this person has brought entertainment into my day, so I want to see them do well. Not because it's like some people be like, well, no, this person has to be successful so I can keep watching them. And I'm like, no, I just want them to be successful because they entertain me and I want karma to do something that I can't myself do for them and have them have something good happen,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And, this is, like I said, this ride was never supposed to be here. And from just the social media side and now with the tour side, that wasn't meant to be either. So I'm in the position of life where, like I said, I don't have any kids anymore and I've got time on my hands. So I'm just going to say yes to everything pretty much is kind of where I'm at. And the world will tell me if I need to say no. It'll say, you don't have enough money or you don't have enough time. And so far, neither of those have been happening. So I'm just going to keep going.
and,
See where this thing goes.
yeah, why not ride it out? See how
Write it out. It's going to end sometime, either by my choice or by the tour's choice, right?
yeah.
And that's okay. Or I clap out and I take my long ride to Valhalla. I mean, one of those three are going to happen.
Say that. Well, I mean, that's it's kind of how all of it ends up for at some point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but why not? We're we are the age that we are, and it's time to enjoy whatever we can for as long as we have left. And um, I'm having a blast. I'm loving doing this.
That's great. I mean, it's good that you're like I said, that's very cool. I'm glad to hear that's going. And
Yeah, and it's the audiences are great. They're all people our age, and a lot of them. What I've been finding out is a lot of them don't leave their house for anything. Right? I think somehow we became the Hobbit generation or something. I don't know. There's a
yeah,
lot of people of our generation that aren't going outside, and when they go outside, they're coming to our show, which is wild.
yeah. Well, I
It's
mean,
wild that we're the reason.
I think it's because we did all that outside when we were young, and
Yeah, we're like, I don't ever want to be outside again.
I mean, it's to borrow one of the phrases that they use about us. Yeah, we were feral. I mean,
Feral is a word.
there was. I remember having a conversation with my mother because she was very upset with me because I got home a little after the streetlights came on and she wanted to know where I was. And like a fool, I told her, and she was like, "That's 13 miles on the other side of town." I was like,
Well, where were you watching me?
well, you said, I had to go ride my bike around and I was looking for something to do. And my best friend happened to live on the other side of town. So I just
There was nothing to do here.
started pedaling and I went to his house and we played basketball for several hours. And Then I was like, all right, it's getting dark. I got to ride home. And I underestimated how long it would take me to get back to my house after like
Yeah,
being
it's
up.
always longer on the way back.
And so, yeah, I got home a little after the streetlights were on. And my mom, where were you? I was worried sick. Well, yeah, I was at Sean's house. Well, Sean lives on the other side of town. Yeah, I know. I'm tired. If you don't mind, I'd like to, take a bath and go to bed. It's been a very long day, Mom. I can't believe you did that. Well, you didn't tell me to stay in the neighborhood.
You didn't put parameters on me, so I just went.
And so I just it seemed like a good idea, so I went. But so I think maybe that's part of it. But I do noticed a lot of decline in the going out in the last 5 to 6 years. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
They say that all the clubs in the world are going to go away
yeah.
because the young kids, first of all, they don't go to clubs, and well, we can't do it past 9 p.m. and survive.
I mean, well, we can. You just got to plan ahead and make sure
Well,
there's
take a nap and plan for the days after it when we can't do anything.
yeah the 3 day hangovers. Which
Oh God.
that I was not ready for that part. That was the very first inkling to me where I was like, you know what? I made it farther than I was supposed to.
Yeah,
I,
this is a good ride that I've had so far. Somehow I'm here, but
yeah, I mean, I think I've actually died a couple of times, but um, yeah.
you know what? We take that into account. Most of our shows start at 5 p.m.
Oh well, that's also good to know.
and usually on a Sunday or something like that when you don't have other plans that for your cookout or whatever. So
Yeah,
it's we're trying to be as convenient as we can for our aging and ailing generation that we're here to support.
got to watch Wheel and get the early bird
Yeah, you
special.
got to get. I mean, you got to get in your jammies. You got to spend a little bit of time reading that book or scrolling, doom scrolling or whatever before your eyes just fade off.
Next thing you know, no, I was watching that. Hey, yeah,
That is one thing that I do enjoy about being older is the incredible speed in which I can fall asleep when my head hits the pillow.
oh yeah,
It's breathtaking how fast that happens.
yeah. I've found comparatively, I should say, because according to my wife, I still don't sleep. But the thing was, in my 20s and early 30s, I was one of those like 3 or 4 hour a night people. Just not out of any choice. I've just always been wired that way. I didn't sleep when I was a kid, and I didn't actually start appreciating like a good nap until I was probably 40. So, but now it's like, oh yeah, and I go to bed and I switch off, and it's like, oh,
It's
this.
like, yeah, as soon as I take my contacts out, it is game over. I
Yeah,
got like 5 minutes.
and it's like, babe, you got 6 minutes to say anything to me before we're done.
It's exactly the truth. I'm like, look, you got like 30 seconds. I'm about to put my head on the pillow, and you know what happens after that. And the funny thing is like, I don't know about yours, but mine doesn't sleep. I think she's got to stay up and read a book or scroll for hours on end before she actually falls asleep. And she's like, is the glow bothering you? I was like, no.
Oh,
What's bothering me you is asking if the glow bothers me. That bothers me.
the part where you had to wake me up to ask if I was
Yeah,
sleeping.
exactly. That part bothered me.
The only thing I can say about that is my wife does the same thing, but she also goes to bed about an hour before I do. Again,
Oh, so she
I don't sleep
accommodates that
that.
hour.
Yeah, she usually goes to bed around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Whereas I usually don't wind up getting to sleep till about 10ish, just because, excuse me, like I said, I never used to sleep much at all, and even these days, it's like, I get my 6 hours, I'm good. So
Mm-hmm. 5:30 comes around
yeah,
real early, and for some reason,
5 o'clock gets here, and I'm like,
my eyes open, and I'm like, why are they open? And they won't close.
yep, that's exactly the same. I'm well, actually, for me, it's 5:15 though. But eyes pop open. I roll over. I give the alarm clock the finger. The dog realizes I rolled over and that now it's time to go pee. So she
That's right. As soon as the dog starts clanking around on the floor, I'm like, oh, okay,
starts
we're done.
clacking around, and we've got laminate floors. So you're click 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 long day
Yep.
on the floor, and I'm like, she's like, okay, it's time to go. And I know
The
that's
day
not.
has begun.
I've got 2 minutes until she's gonna start barking. So it's like, okay, I'm up, I'm up, I'm up. Because once she's
Mhm.
got to go, she to her credit, she's a good dog. She does not go in the house. But when she's awake, like I just woke up and she knows she's got to go, she will sit there and bark at me until I get up to go open the door for her. So I'm like,
Well, mine has decided to replace children with dogs.
so
So we had three dogs, and then our oldest one passed away. We put her down; she was old. And the next day, she goes, "Well, let's go to Puppy Palooza." It's like, okay, let's go. We can go look at a dog. She ends up taking a dog home. Okay, great. Well, we got another puppy. Well, then that puppy had a twin brother who went out for adoption, but the adoption failed for whatever reason, and he got put back in the foster system. So she goes, "Well, let's just foster him." And I'm like, "Okay." So we end up fostering the first puppy that we adopted's brother. Well, as you know how fosters work, they fail a lot. And so now we have four dogs, two of them being puppies. So as soon as the clanking starts, the puppies who are getting crate trained are out there hearing the clanking, and they all of a sudden start howling. So it's 5 o'clock is a very interesting time in my house.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I never thought that I would get rid of all of my kids and have them all replaced with puppies.
I can see how that would be unexpected, but no,
Yeah.
I have we actually just our current dog. We've had her about 2 years now, and so we're past the puppy point at this thing, and she was a rescue, but she was only like 7 months when we got her, so she still very much had the puppy energy and everything else going on with her. But our previous dog had uh, she she was very old. She was 17, and
Whoa.
yeah, we had her for a very long time, and
Wow.
she was just the best dog. But she started getting sick because she was old, and so we had
Yeah.
taken her to the vet, and this was like actually she was 16 and almost about to be 17. Like, it's like the week before her birthday.
Wow.
So we had taken her to the vet, and they were like, "Well, if we think it's pancreatitis, we're just going to keep her for observation over the weekend." And so of course that's yeah, hey, that's our little girl. Go ahead, take care of her. And but I had like I'm just horribly cheap. So like I buy like dog food in bulk. I buy the 40-pound bag because it's gonna, I save 6 cents a pound or whatever by doing it.
Yeah.
And since it was her birthday was coming up, and she's old, so I bought her a bunch of treats and toys and all this stuff. Like, hey, you're an old lady, congratulations! And then she wound up like seizing up at the vets on like a Sunday. It was a Sunday night, and so they're like, "Yeah, your dog's seizing. Do you want us to resuscitate her?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. We're on our way. Try and keep her alive till we get there so we can say goodbye." Got there, she passed. I had all this stuff I just bought for the dog. 40 pounds of food and a shit ton of toys and treats and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, that sucks. Uh, and my wife was a wreck, and I was not happy. I was very sad about the whole thing, but I kind of do our generation guy thing where I'm just like,
Yeah. Push it down. Push it down.
get down, have a
Push it
heart
down.
attack, have a heart
Nothing's
attack
wrong.
at 50.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. I got to go out there and bury the dog. So I buried the dog at, like midnight in the rain. It could not have been any more like it
More
was
Pet Cemetery,
scripted.
right?
It couldn't have been any more, And my wife's out there watching from like the door of the garage, like, you're making it worse. Stop staring. Nobody can see you cry in the rain. It's okay. But so the next morning, I'd taken the day off of work just because I was digging a hole at midnight, so I didn't really feel like going in. And and I'm like, you know what? We've got all this stuff. Let's go donate it to the shelter. It's rescue. It's a good deal. That's where we got her from. They're technically they're state funded, but they're very underfunded. So we're like, they can use all the stuff we can donate to them.
Yeah.
Pack up all the toys and the blankets and the dog bed and all this other stuff, and we go to the 40-pound bag of dog food that hadn't been opened yet, and I take it all out to the local rescue, and like, here you go, guys, we're gonna donate all this stuff. And they're like, wow, that's a ton of stuff. And they had literally one dog in the shelter at this point, and they had her out in the office space, well, because she was the only dog in the shelter, so why not? And my wife comes walking in, and this dog comes walking over and just kind of sits down on her feet, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And so she's like,
You're coming home with me.
oh, my wife was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go walk her around the yard. It looks like she's got to go potty. And so
Uh-huh.
hooks the leash on her, takes her out to walk her around the backyard. I looked at the lady and I said, start the paperwork. She's like, what are you saying? I said, here's exactly what's going to happen. she's going to come in and go, I know you said it's too soon and you don't want to think about getting another dog yet and you're not ready, but she's so sweet and you're at work all day and I'm sitting here doing all my online classes because at the time, school was still mostly remote. So she's like, I'm alone home in the house alone all day and it's too quiet and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and she's going to say all this crap and then I'm going to wind up cutting you a check. So we might as well just cut out the middleman.
Skip the
Start the
middleman.
paperwork. I said, and watch what happens when she comes back in. So about 5 minutes later, my wife comes walking in. The dog, she lets go of the dog because we're back in the office space, and the dog comes over and like climbs up in my lap, and I'm like, "Oh no, don't you start with me."
It's like I already got her. I need you now.
And my wife comes over and goes, "Look, I know what you said." And I'm like, "I already had her start the paperwork. Go put her in the car." She's like, "Are you serious? I already paid." Yes, I'm serious. Go put the dog in the car. So the lady's over there and she's like comes over, hands my wife all the paperwork, like, that's a hell of a husband you got there. And I'm just like, yeah, you're welcome. She goes out, the lady goes, so I suppose you're gonna want all the dog food and the toys and the treats and everything back, huh? No, no, I brought all that stuff here because you guys, I have a job and income. I'll go buy some more dog food on the way home. Keep the stuff for the
We'll
pup.
go get special stuff just for this little guy.
Like this dog is going to get all new crap.
All new crap, brand new, not for that was meant for the other dog.
Yeah, it's we don't need the emotional baggage of the toys that remind my wife of the dog that just died.
And let me
Last
guess, your dogs are completely your dog is completely babied now.
Um, more or less. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, because
I'm a little more stern with her.
oh, I'm stern. Trust me, I'm stern. She, on the other hand, for
Yeah.
these two, they can do no wrong.
Yeah. No. Oh, it's okay, honey.
Oh, look how sweet they are. They're little shitheads, by the way.
Oh yeah. No.
Um,
This one's a medium shithead. I'm like 62 pounds or something like that.
oh,
She's at least mostly cattle dog. So very high energy, very yeah, I mean she's a sweetheart. She really is, but
she started an Instagram page for them.
oh, that's
They
lovely.
have their own Instagram page, which I make cameo appearances whenever she takes pictures of us together, me and the dogs. Like I like to lay because I'm a Gen Xer. I wasn't actually allowed on the couch when I was a kid,
Right?
so I always had to lay on the floor. And I am still comfortable laying on the floor and watching TV.
Yeah. And do you have to explain that repeatedly to your wife? 'Cause I
I
still
do. I have to explain it.
why don't you come on the couch? Because I like it here.
Because it's comfy down here. But the dogs love to lay all over me when I'm down there. It's like as soon as I get on the floor, they think it's playtime. No, I'm trying to watch a movie.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to watch John Wick. You should appreciate this
Exactly.
movie. Watch this with me.
Watch this with me. Lay down here with me.
Yeah.
The two older dogs are like, we get it. We know what's happening. He needs. We're gonna lay right beside him. But the new ones are like, oh, it's a playtime. It's
Yeah.
playtime.
No, she's figured it out. She just comes and snuggles up and lays on my back now. So she's like, I have this 70-pound fur blanket on me, breathing in my ear while I'm trying to watch a movie. It's at least she's not trying to chew on me or anything. So I'll take
True.
it. It's a
Take the ones where you can get them.
small you. But yeah, my
Yeah.
wife's like, we have this sectional. Why are you on the floor? Well, because this is where I'm comfy. It's
I was trained. I was trained at a very young age,
yes,
much like we should do with our puppies.
yeah. Puppies need to learn. Like, no, the puppy's on the couch. Oh well, okay. Well,
Yeah, the puppies that live on the couch.
I was gonna say I don't know it, but I know it. It's yeah.
They live on the couch. They're brand new couches, by the way. They're already scratched up.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I actually that's on my next list of major purchases. Like I think like most people our age, I have a list of things that it's like, okay, when we get to this point, I'm going to replace that. When I get to
Oh
this,
yeah, they're check boxes of your progression.
exactly, as I'm leveling up in life.
Leveling up in life. Like we got one of those fancy fridges that has the screen on the front. I didn't think I would actually love it, but I love it
Yeah,
because I have all the calendars merged together on the freaking refrigerator.
it's all right. Okay,
It's all that is cool because I have a calendar. She's got a calendar because she travels and stuff, and then I've got the tour and stuff. So all of it is in one calendar for us to look at
something
as
to look
I'm
at
getting
every day.
something to eat.
No,
It's the
that's actually,
smartest thing ever.
yeah. I actually almost bought that fridge.
Oh,
We did just get a new fridge last summer, and I almost did it, and then it was kind of like, well, that one's out of stock. And again, this was like during all the, well, no, two summers ago, because it was when they were still shipping was still getting back to regular, and
yeah, yeah.
so like, yeah, no, there's this appliance you can order it, but it's going to take 6 months for you to get that fridge.
Oh,
And I'm like, yeah, my fridge died. That's why I'm here buying
like
it.
I don't have a fridge right
I have
now.
6 months. It's like actually, right there, that little fridge over there is. I was living out of that thing for like 3 weeks while I was waiting for my replacement refrigerator to show up. And as a chef, that was really frustrating because I was like, I got a chest freezer out in the garage, like most good folks in the Midwest do, but it doesn't do any good for like milk and eggs and all that other stuff. So
No, not really.
got the little
Not really.
dorm room fridge there, and I was like, yeah, this will work. And then they, like I said, they were like, well, if you want this one with the touch screen, then microchips, back order, blah blah blah, it's going to be 6 months. I'm like, okay, how much for that French door one with the drawer in it? Oh well, this one's it's $1,000 less. Okay, great. Yeah, I'll take that one if I can have it this week. And they're like, yeah, we can set up delivery on Friday. Perfect. Take my money.
Take
So,
my money.
and yeah, I've been going down that list. Couches is on the list, but again, this goes back to I'm cheap, and the couch that we have still stops my butt from hitting the ground. So um, it's functional, but I deliberately delayed because I made a mistake of buying a new couch when my son was 11ish. It was probably the worst mistake I ever made in my life. Went
Yeah,
out,
you're not ready for that when you have small
bought a
kids.
really nice couch because my wife wanted this really nice couch. I
Well,
was
we
like,
can find a really nice one on Facebook Marketplace.
yeah, well, that was kind of what happened because between him and his two buddies that basically lived at my house every summer, they had that thing like kindling in 6 months. They're jumping, playing grab ass around.
Yep.
I,
Yep.
I, I had bike chain grease. I mean, to their credit, these are the kids that kind of restored my faith in the younger generation a little bit because we couldn't get them to stay in the house when the weather's decent. They'd be out running the streets, playing in the park. I mean, I live a couple blocks over from a national park, so or a state park, and it's they would go to the park and they'd be down there playing in the creek and catching bullfrogs and turtles and snakes and
Oh,
stuff.
that's awesome.
Like you guys are doing childhood right. I don't have to stop. I don't have to yell at you to go outside. I don't have to tell you to stop playing video games. Good job. But the backside of that coin is my house was filthy a lot because they're young boys. They're out there. Hey, yeah, I was working on my bike. Yeah, I know that beige couch you sat down on and now has a your ass shaped grease stain on it. Really appreciate that, fellas. So when that one got busted up, I did go on Facebook Marketplace, like, oh hey, look, that one looks like there's nothing that's too gross that
It's
happened on it,
$400.
and it's $400 exactly. And then my wife was like, oh hey, there's they just opened one of those Habitat for Humanity charity stores, and everything they sell there is the money goes to Habitat for Humanity. We should go check it out. My friend said they got really cheap furniture there because I was in the market for a new recliner, and I said, all right, I'm up for that. That sounds like a good cause. Well, I talked to the people that ran the store, and they're like, yeah, oh no, all of this furniture is donated from furniture stores. It's all like floor models.
Brand new. Yeah, floor models and stuff.
So I'm like, okay, that's a mixed bag because floor models means there's been a lot of asses in those seats. But on the other side of that coin, they were all dressed asses. I guarantee that. So I didn't have to worry about anything particularly skeevy going on with any of the furniture. I didn't think. So I was like, I feel a little more comfortable paying $400 for that couch than paying for that $400 couch that was coming out of that house where the guy had three teenagers. So, yeah, okay, we'll do that. And so it worked out pretty well. And that's the couch we have right now that still keeps my ass from hitting the ground. And it's had a good life for $400. Well, $400 sectional. So I'm like, it seats 7. So I'm cool with that. So the dog has plenty of room, and so does the cat, and so does the wife, and I still lay on the floor, so everybody's happy. And
Yeah.
yeah. So, but that is my next list is I want to get one of those really cool sectionals that's got like all the bells and whistles.
Oh yeah, that's what we have. We've got the vibrating massage and heat and all that
Yeah,
stuff, which is the biggest pile of crap that you could ever purchase. Don't do it.
really? Okay. Well,
It's already broke on one of the chairs.
okay, well, I will definitely
And
get
we got it from Haverty's. I mean, so it's
okay.
not like it's not cheap shit.
It wasn't a janky one. It was a nice.
It was nice. It was good. I was I'm still upset about this.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just have to go back to hoping somebody buys the massage chair off my Amazon gift list.
Yeah, that is actually on my bucket list is to get one of those Osake,
Yeah,
the egg looking thing that you sit in and it grabs your arms and it twists your hips and it cracks your
have
neck
the
and
feathers and it pulls your
yeah,
leg,
it does
like
all the
got the
things.
rack feature and everything else. Yeah,
Exactly. It's the
that's
Iron
what.
Maiden.
Yeah, it's I like I said, it's on the gift list if anybody's feeling generous, but I'm not holding my breath. But yeah, that's like that's the bucket list chair for me to have in the living room and
Maybe
like,
if we play Madison Square Gardens, I'll go ahead and get splurge on that.
yeah, there you go. See, it's important to have goals. It's
Yeah, have goals. Well, we also said that if we ever play Madison Square Gardens, we are going to we're all four of us going to get a tattoo of the Gen X Takeover logo on our butts. And we've all committed to it. In fact,
that's worth it. I mean,
Nick was the only one who was resistant to it, but his wife committed to it for him.
so he's doing it. Yeah, that's
So he's doing it.
yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I also have a tattoo commitment made that's not nearly as cool as playing Madison Square Garden, but I do have a buddy of mine. And if we ever get his stupid business off the ground, and we're both gonna go out and get the logo tattoo just because we think the logo is very cool. But but it's like a new health and nutrition thing. So
Nice.
I'm like, I appreciate that, especially as because again, same age, Gen X, middle aged guy who's like, yeah, I think I need to be getting healthy. And I'm like, man, I remember seeing you drink beer out of an ashtray, and not now you're healthy. Okay, cool. So one of my buddies who's he's still a chef, but like I said, he's gone nutball. Like I am into all organic this, and I'm like, I watch all my macros, and I ride my bike, rain or snow, 75 miles every day, and I've done ultra marathons, and I'm like,
Mm,
again, this is the guy where I'm like, dude, I saw you drink mystery liquor and bar rag shots,
trash can punch.
trash can punch, and friggin', like, hey, whose drink is this? Never mind. Oh, there's a cigarette button there. I mean, just one of those guys. The guy who was the one who was like, you know, I guarantee when COVID came around, he was just like, everything I've been exposed to, I'm not worried about getting sick. Like, I still have Mad Dog in my system. I'm fine. All
All
right.
right. Well, I think I'm gonna have to shut her down on my end.
I was gonna say I was gonna say unless there's something else you wanted to cover.
No, 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 no,
I don't want to
nothing.
take up too much of your time.
Yeah, no, it's been a good chat. Good chat for sure.
For sure.
Good-
Well, I definitely had a good time. Thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we already talked about the tour some. If any last plugs you want to throw out or anything?
No, like I said, everybody can just go to the dadbodveteran.com and find all of my links and also, genxtakeover.com for all of the cruise information. You can find all the good stuff there. Hope to see everybody soon at one of our shows. And, hopefully we'll get out to your neck of the woods and we can meet in person.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say that after I stopped the recording. I mean, I don't care if people know I'm asking, but I just, like you said, there was not disclosed dates yet. So that's what I was here. I'm going to actually, as a matter of fact, thanks for listening, guys. I'll put in some ending stuff later.
Thanks for listening to another episode, guys. If you liked what you heard, leave a comment, leave a review, leave a rating. Go to ihadtosayitpodcast.com, sign up for the mailing list, interact with the show. Click the links, sign up for the Patreon, join the Discord, come and interact, be a part of the show, buy the merch, support your favorite creator, or support me. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Till next time.